Welcome back to the channel where we remember the stars who once brought magic into our lives, the faces who made us laugh, think, and feel something real. Today, we revisit Rocky, the iconic film series that captured the heart of millions with its story of grit, hope, and the fight to rise above. Over the years, many of the incredible talents who helped bring that world to life have sadly left us. Whether they were leading heroes or unforgettable supporting players, every actor added something unforgettable, a spark that stayed with us long after the screen faded to black. Burt Young, born Gerald Tommaso DeLuise on April 30, 1940, in Queens, New York, and passing away on October 8, 2023, at the age of 83, was one of those rare actors who could step into a role and make it feel like a real person you had known all your life. To millions, he will always be remembered as Paulie Panino in the Rocky series, Rocky Balboa's gruff, stubborn, often drunken brother-in-law, whose tough exterior hid a deep well of loyalty and vulnerability. Paulie wasn't a glamorous character, but under Burt's portrayal, he became a symbol of the everyday working-class man, flawed, temperamental, sometimes selfish, but ultimately loving and fiercely protective of the people he cared about. This authenticity earned Burt an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for the first Rocky in 1976, and he went on to reprise Paulie in all 6 sequels, each time adding more layers of humanity to the role. His career, however, stretched far beyond the boxing ring. Burt was a versatile actor, shining in roles like Curly in Chinatown, Patsy in Once Upon a Time in America, and even taking on darker characters in films such as The Pope of Greenwich Village, Last Exit to Brooklyn, and his memorable appearance in The Sopranos. Before Hollywood, Burt served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1957 to 1959, where he also pursued amateur boxing, winning 32 of his 34 fights under the guidance of the legendary Cus D'Amato. He studied acting under Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio, developing the natural, unpolished style that became his trademark. Outside of acting, Burt was an accomplished painter and writer, with his art displayed in galleries around the world, and his creative energy pouring into novels, plays, and screenplays. His personal life carried moments of deep tragedy, including the loss of his beloved wife Gloria in 1974, after which he devoted himself to raising his daughter, and, later in life, doting on his grandson. In his later years, Burt remained active in creative projects, but his health began to decline, and on October 8, 2023, he passed away at Northridge Hospital Medical Center in Los Angeles due to cardiac arrest, with contributing factors including a heart attack, atrial fibrillation, and atherosclerosis. His death was felt deeply by fans around the world, not just because they lost an actor, but because they lost a man whose performances reminded us of our uncles, brothers, fathers, people who weren't perfect but loved with all their hearts. Burt Young didn't just play Paulie. He was Paulie, and through that role and countless others, he left behind a legacy of raw, emotional honesty that will live on for generations of movie lovers. Carl Weathers, the legendary American actor, director, and former professional football player, passed away on February 2, 2024, at the age of 76, leaving an irreplaceable void in the hearts of fans and the world of entertainment. He died peacefully in his sleep at his home in Los Angeles, with the cause later confirmed as atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. Born on January 14, 1948, in New Orleans, Louisiana, Carl grew up in the Deep South during a time of segregation, where he learned early lessons about perseverance, discipline and ambition from his hardworking father, a day laborer. His natural athletic talent earned him a football scholarship to San Diego State University, where he became a star defensive end, helping lead the Aztecs to an undefeated season in 1969. He went on to play professionally with the Oakland Raiders in the NFL and later the BC Lions in the CFL. But even at the height of his sports career, Carl knew his true calling was in acting. In 1974, he took a leap of faith, leaving football to pursue the screen, and just 2 years later, fate rewarded him with the role of a lifetime, Apollo Creed in Rocky 1976. With his commanding presence, infectious charisma, and fierce energy, Carl transformed Apollo into far more than a boxing rival. He made him a fully realized, complex character, a champion with style, wit, and heart. Over 4 Rocky films, Apollo's journey from boastful adversary to loyal friend created some of the franchise's most powerful and emotional moments, cementing Carl as one of Hollywood's most magnetic stars. His career flourished with standout performances in Predator, Action Jackson, Street Justice, and the beloved comedy Happy Gilmore, where his portrayal of Chubbs Peterson became iconic in its own right. In later years, he found new generations of fans through his Emmy-nominated role as Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, where he also directed episodes, proving his versatility and artistry extended beyond acting. Off-screen, Carl was admired for his kindness, humility, and the respect he showed to everyone he worked with, from fellow actors to behind-the-scenes crew. His death came as a shock, especially since he had been actively working on new projects just days before, still full of vision and energy. In August 2024, he was posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a lasting tribute to a man who broke barriers, inspired millions, and embodied the spirit of a true champion. Carl Weathers will forever be remembered not just as Apollo Creed, but as a rare talent and an even rarer human being whose light will never fade. James Brown, the legendary American singer, songwriter, dancer, and the electrifying godfather of soul, whose passing on Christmas Day 2006 left a silence in music that nothing has been able to fill. Born James Joseph Brown on May 3, 1933, in a one-room shack in Barnwell, South Carolina, he came into a world of deep poverty where hunger, hardship, and struggle were daily realities. As a child, he worked shining shoes for pennies, danced on street corners for soldiers' loose change, and often wore clothes made from burlap sacks. Yet even in these humble beginnings, he carried an unshakable belief that he was destined for greatness. Music became his lifeline, his escape, and his fight for survival. From church choirs to gospel groups, his extraordinary energy and magnetic voice carried him to stardom in the mid-1950s with the famous Flames, and soon the world was watching as he reinvented rhythm and blues into soul, and later gave birth to funk. His signature hits, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Got You, I Feel Good, It's a Man's World, and Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, were more than just songs. They were cultural milestones, soundtracks to change and empowerment. James Brown's influence shaped generations, inspiring icons from Mick Jagger to Michael Jackson, and laying the foundation for hip-hop with grooves endlessly sampled by artists. In film, he left an unforgettable mark with his explosive performance of Living in America in Rocky IV, a moment that captured the very essence of his charisma and showmanship. Nicknamed Mr. Dynamite, and the hardest-working man in show business, he gave everything to his audiences, sweating through marathon performances that left him and the crowd breathless. But behind the stage lights, he faced personal battles, health issues, and the wear of a lifetime spent on the road. In December 2006, just weeks after a European tour, pneumonia struck. Ever the fighter, he believed he would recover in time for his scheduled New Year's Eve show, but his condition quickly worsened. In the early hours of December 25th, with his trusted friend and manager Charles Bobbitt by his side, James Brown whispered, "I'm going away tonight," took 3 slow breaths, and was gone at age 73, the victim of congestive heart failure brought on by pneumonia. His death was not just the loss of a man, but the loss of a force of nature, a pioneer whose rhythms became the heartbeat of modern music. Even now, his voice, his moves, and his fearless spirit live on in every beat that makes the world want to dance.